Welcome to System Science and Economic Growth. Human-made mass versus living biomass. For this video, the key idea is number 10. Perpetual economic growth is unsustainable. In this video, you will learn what mass is, what living biomass is, what human-made mass is, how the growth of human-made mass compares to the growth of natural biomass over time, and what the effects might be. The article, Global Human-Made Mass Exceeds All Living Biomass, was published in the journal Nature, Volume 588, 17 December 2020. The authors were Emily L. Hacham, Liad Ben-Uri, Jonathan Groznovsky, Inan M. Baron, and Ron Milo. They are from the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel. The authors state that human-made mass exceeded all living biomass for the first time in about 2020. While living biomass has slowly been shrinking, human-made mass is increasing exponentially. What is physical mass? Mass is the quantity of matter in a physical body. The standard way to measure mass is by weighing mass in metric units. Smaller items are measured in grams, while larger items are measured in tons. The authors used the metric system of tons. What is living biomass? By biomass, the authors do not mean recently alive plant and animal matter used as fuel to produce electricity. When used as fuel, that biomass is burned up and is no longer alive. Rather, they use living biomass to mean the mass of all currently living things. Divisions of biomass. The authors used the following divisions. Animals, all the critters in zoology. Plants, all the species in botany. Fungi, which are neither plant nor animal. Next are three kinds of biomass that are microorganisms. Bacteria, archaea, and protists. Plants equal about 90% of living biomass. What is human-made mass? By human-made mass, the authors mean the mass embedded in inanimate solid objects made by humans that have not yet been demolished or taken out of service. This does not include waste produced in building these solid objects or in mining for materials. It also does not include waste remaining after objects deteriorate. Categories of human-made mass. The authors use these categories. Concrete for sidewalks, roads, and buildings. Aggregates as basis for roads, parking lots, and buildings. Bricks. Asphalt. Metals for sheet metal, pipes, and I-beams. And other, meaning plastic, glass, and wood for construction. Most of this mass is concrete and aggregates. Tons and teratonnes. For measuring mass, the authors use metric tons. 1 metric ton equals 1,000 kilograms, or about 2,205 pounds. 1 kiloton equals 1,000 tons. A megaton equals 1 million tons. A gigaton equals 1 billion tons, and a teraton equals 1 trillion tons. So, what weighs a ton? Lots of things. One thing is a walrus. So, a trillion walruses would weigh about 1 teraton. This graph shows the growth of human-made mass compared to the growth of living biomass over time. The vertical scale measures dry weight in teratons. The horizontal scale is years from 1900 to a bit beyond 2020. Living biomass in green has decreased slightly since 1900 to about 1.1 teratonnes in 2020. Human-made mass was only about 3% of living biomass in 1900, but anthropogenic mass has increased exponentially to equal the weight of living biomass in 2020, give or take 6 years. Expanding human-made mass has decreased living biomass. At the beginning of the agricultural revolution 3,000 years ago, biomass weighed about 2 teratonnes. Now, it's about 1.1 teratonnes. Human-made mass in the future. Co-author Ron Milo said that if the growth of human-made mass continues at its current pace, the mass will be about 3 teratonnes by 2040. Effects of anthropogenic mass growth. The above study shows persuasively that humans are increasingly creating more inanimate material things. Since the beginning of the agricultural revolution, humans have reduced plant mass from about 2 teratonnes to the present 1.1 teratonnes. There are enough resources to continue this trend for a while, but eventually the human-made mass would be more than that of the Earth system's mass. That is not possible. Material waste. As stated before, human-made mass does not include waste produced in building solid objects or in mining for materials. It also does not include waste remaining after objects deteriorate. Cleaning up waste requires energy. Not cleaning up waste can create clutter or unusable objects. It can also degrade wildlife habitats. Takeaways. Human-made mass versus living biomass. Mass is the quantity of matter in a physical body. Living biomass is the mass of all currently living things. Human-made mass is the mass embedded in inanimate solid objects made by humans that have not yet been demolished or taken out of service. Human-made mass equaled living biomass for the first time in about 2020, with a weight of about 1.1 teratonnes. Human-made mass will almost triple the weight of living biomass by 2040 if the present growth trend continues. There will also be waste to deal with from the above, as well as waste from mining materials. Anthropogenic mass cannot perpetually grow since the mass would eventually outweigh the Earth system. That is impossible. Resources. First, an online article. Global Human-Made Mass Exceeds All Living Biomass by Emily L. Hakam, Liad Ben-Uri, Jonathan Groznovsky, Inan M. Baron, and Ron Milo, Nature, Volume 588, 17 December 2020. This is the study of how natural biomass compares to human-made mass or anthropomass. Next, an online article. The Anthropocene is upon us. Human-made materials now outweigh Earth's entire biomass for the first time in our planet's history by Ron Milo, Weizmann Compass. This short article explains the big picture of the study. Since about 1950, humans have been increasingly changing the face of the planet and are impacting the biosphere. Next is an online YouTube video, Behind the Research by Ron Milo, Weizmann Institute of Science. In this 4-minute video, Professor Milo explains in simple terms how the study evolved. Next, an online website, anthropomass.org. This site provides an easy-to-understand graphic summary of how human-made mass, or anthropomass, has increased during the past 120 years. Last, an online article. Human-made stuff now outweighs all life on Earth. The sheer scale of buildings, infrastructure, and other anthropogenic objects underscores our impact on the planet. By Stephanie Pappas, 9 December 2020 in Scientific America. This article deals with the negative consequences of accumulating human-made mass and the waste involved. What is next in economic growth? Economic growth is exponential. Thanks for watching.